do a Zen Bar Spark class. This class is an interval class where we're going to do sets of exercises. So we're going to be doing 3 sets of exercises today. Each set has 4 exercises, and we can do the whole thing either seated and or standing. Some of them we need to stand, but others you have a choice of sitting or standing. We'll be exercising each exercise for 45 seconds with a 15-second break, and we'll be taking a little break in between our sets. So let's get started, finding a comfortable seated position. We're going to start seated. And just take a moment to settle comfortably. You might want to grab, obviously a chair and some light weights, although you can do it without weights if you'd like, and some water. So pause the video, get what you need, and come back and find your seat as we begin. Just take a nice, relaxing, long inhalation and exhalation through our nose, just settling in, calming. Let's inhale, arms sweep overhead. And as we exhale, let's bring hands together at our hearts. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to go through one more prayer flow, and then we're going to do 3 rounds of sun salutations for our warm-up today. So let's inhale, arms sweeping overhead. As we exhale, cactus arms with a little hinge forward, engage the belly. Inhale, draw the elbows to our sides, seated monkey. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right arm is going to make a gentle sweep. And then the left arm as we inhale. Inhale, both arms. As we exhale, arms down, right leg reaches forward. Inhale. And exhale, other leg. Inhale. As we exhale, arms sweep down in a circle. We're going to lift that right knee, maybe give it a little hug. And then inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, let's bring the other knee in for a hug. Inhale. We have a gentle twist. Keep your arms in cactus, just a gentle twist. We're just warming up. So let's listen to our bodies, not only during our warm-up, but throughout our whole class. Let's come back. Hands at hearts. Let's do a second round. Inhale. Exhale, cactus with a hinge. Inhale, seated monkey. Exhale, forward fold. Right arm. Left arm. Inhale, both arms. Arms down, reach that right leg forward. Inhale. And then the left leg. Inhale, we've got a knee to chest, the right knee goes first. Give it a hug if you can. Warming up the hip joints. Warming up the low back and spine. And then gently twisting to the right. And then twisting to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands to hearts. We have one more round of sun salutations to finish our warm-up. Inhaling. As we exhale, cactus with a hinge. Inhale, seated monkey. Exhale, forward fold. Right arm. Left arm. Let's inhale both arms. Nice big arm sweep. As we exhale, arms reach down, leg reaches forward. Other leg. We have a knee to chest. Movement with our breath. Warming up our body. Even our breath and movement is bringing warming energy throughout our body. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, hands come together in front of our hearts. Take a moment, grab a drink, and I'm going to go through the first 4 exercises that we're going to do. So we're going to start with a march. So you can do a seated march if you're still not quite warmed up, or we can do a standing march. So that's our first exercise. The second one, seated or standing, we're going to put a little hinge in our hips. If we're standing, a little bend in the knees. We're going to bring our arms up and a little bit wide, like a big capital Y, and then we're going to pull our elbows down into a goalpost or a W. So we're just going to go from Y to W. We're going to do that for 45 seconds. The third exercise we're going to do is squats. So feet about hip distance apart. Remember, the hips move back. You don't have to go deep, but the knees stay behind the toes. Arms can reach out. We're going to do that for 45 seconds. Press through the heels to activate the glutes to come up. And the last one we're going to do are bicycles for our core. So if we're standing, fingertips on shoulders, and we can do a standing bicycle, we can also do this seated, same thing. So we're going to do those 4, going through twice, 15 seconds in between. I'm going to set my timer. I have a timer for that time frame. So let me get it set up. Or let me get it started, I should say. It is set up. And we're going to start with our march, seated or standing. Keep the chair close for 45 seconds. So here we go, we're going to march. So you decide how high. Remember, keep your form nice, long spine, shoulders over hips. So we don't want to go too fast and lose our form. Arms can swing a lot or a little, and again, we can do this seated. Keep the chair handy. Keep breathing. Getting our heart rates up a little bit of cardio to get us moving in our class today. We're almost done. Keep going, keep marching. Okay, we have a 15-second break, and then we're going to do our Y to cactus. So you decide whether you want to sit or stand. Put a little hinge in the hips. Remember, bend in the knees, core stays engaged. And here we go. We're going to reach up for a Y and then a W. Y and W. Remember, we can do this seated as well. Feel those shoulder blades draw down, lift up, strengthening that mid-back region. So important for our posture, for our balance. Keep that nice long spine. Gently reach to the crown of the head, reach through the tailbone, whether we're seated or standing. And we are done. Roll your shoulders. The next one we're going to do is our squats. So this one we need to do standing. You can go behind your chair and hold on, or by the side. And here we go. Knees stay behind the toes. Again, form is important, so keep that spine long. Reach those hips behind you. And again, feel free to keep one hand on the stool or on the chair if you need a little bit of stability. And again, you can go deeper if you'd like. Again, customize the move to how you feel right now. We're going to go through another round, so you can go a little deeper, challenge yourself a little bit more, or maybe modify a little bit more. We're coming down on the end of that, and then we've got our seated bicycle, our 4th exercise in this first set. So I'm going to do my bicycle seated, but feel free to stay standing. Fingertips on the shoulders, again, nice long spine, shoulders over hips. Take a nice breath, don't forget to breathe. And here we go, bicycles. Pace yourself, we're doing it 45 seconds. Again, form is important, stability is important if we're standing. So take your time, stay strong through your center. Working our abdominals. And we're breathing. Now this is our 4th exercise. We're going to go through all 4 of these one more time for our first set. So you decide whether you'd like to challenge yourself a little bit more or modify. So 15 seconds. So get ready. We're back to our march. So again, you decide. Seated or standing. And here we go. Here's our march. Maybe knees go a little higher, maybe arms swing a little bit more, or maybe we go a little bit less. You decide. Keep your form now. Keep that spine nice and long. Keep the breath flowing. almost done with our march. Good, roll your shoulders. We have our Y to W. So again, a little hinge forward. If we're sitting, we're going to hinge forward. If we're standing, and then we're going to reach our arms up for a Y and then go to our W. Y to W. Keep the back of your neck in a neutral position, so it should be a straight line from the crown of your head to your tailbone, whether you're sitting or standing. Reach and pull. Working that mid and upper back. Breathing. And we are done with those. Stand up or sit up straight. Shake everything out. We're going to our squats. Standing up close to the chair. If you want to stay right in front of the chair, so it's right behind you, feel free to do that. And here we go. You decide on your squat. Just keep the knees behind the toes. Again, the hinges from the hips. So we're working the glutes here. Press through the heels to come up out of the squat. Sink through the heels, going down. Strengthening the back of our body. And our legs. Slow it down. Don't go so deep. We want our heart rates up a little bit, but you want to be able to breathe and don't get totally out of breath. So pace yourself. Take your time. And we're done. Roll your shoulders. One last one. We have our bicycle. And then we're done with a third of our class. So fingertips on shoulders, sitting or standing. I'm going to stand this time. And here we go. We have a little bit farther to go when we stand. But sitting's fun too. We're working the same muscles, targeting those core muscles. The abdominals. Strong core muscles help us move through our everyday life, doing what we need and want to do. I'm going to take a break after this. And we are done. Roll your shoulders. We are done with our first set of exercises. Take a little break, walk around, grab a drink, and I'm going to show you the second set of exercises. So the first one we're going to do is side leg lifts. So facing the chair or standing independent, we're going to lift one leg. So we're going to do one leg for 45 seconds. Second round, we're going to go to the other leg. So we're going to be starting with our right leg moving for each of these. The second one we're going to do is finger pulls. Again, you can stay standing, you can seat, palms together. We're going to pull using our fingers, or gripping our fingers. We're going to pull and release, count to 5 and release. We're going to do that for 45 seconds. Remember which hand. Let's put our right hand on the inside just so that we're all on the same page. Second time we'll switch. The next one we're going to do is an alternating punch. So sitting or standing. We can use weights here if we'd like, putting them at our chest. We're going to do a little squat and a push. So an alternate arm punch with or without weights. You can also do this seated and just punch out. Maybe put your hands, your weights or hands on your lap and punch out that way if we're seated. The next one we're going to do is side crunches. So we have a lot of variations. Sitting or standing with or without weights. We can do a side stretch this way, going to just the right for the first 45 seconds. Second round we'll go to the left. We could also bring fingertips and go this way, or we can add a leg and do a side crunch. Sitting, standing. Sitting, this one isn't so easy to do. So a couple variations. So you decide which one. You can switch it up for the two rounds. But those are the second set of exercises we're going to do. So if you're ready, I'm going to go ahead and start the timer, and we're going to start with our side leg lifts. And our right leg is going to move first. So here we go. Keep that foot parallel. Again, you decide if you need a little stability, you can tap out or we can lift out. Keep that spine long. Keep a little micro bend in the left knee. Working this side hip, again, important for our balance, for our stability, for our leg strength. Again, part of our core. Done. Walk that out a little bit, shake out those hips. The next one we're going to do is our finger pulls. So right hand is on the inside, left, we're going palm to palm at our chest. Grip your fingers and pull apart for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, release, and keep going. Count to yourself, count out loud, sitting or standing. If your legs are tired, it's a great opportunity to take a little break sitting while we work on our chest and upper back. So you decide on the resistance here. The harder you pull apart, the more you work your muscles. And we are done. Shake out those wrists, roll the shoulders. The next one is our alternate punch, and I'm going to use my weights for this. And I'm going to start standing. So feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And here we go. We're going to press. And if we're seated, we can do it with our weights as well. And if you don't have weights, that's fine. Just make a gentle fist. You can always use water bottles, cans, but they might be hard to grip. Water bottles are a little thinner, although they're a little bit more easily crushed. So, but again, it's a reach, working the back, the arms, and we are done. The last one is our side crunches or sides. So with or without the weights, I'm going to go ahead, do the right side. I'm going to stand, but I'm going to do a side tip, working that side core. Again, you can use no weights. You can use one weight. Or you can do a side crunch, where we bring our knee up and our elbow down. We're working the same muscles, just different variations. So feel free to pick which one. And again, you can try a different version the second round if you want to try. And we are done. Good. We're going to go through all 4 of those one more time. So we're going to start with our side leg raise on the other side. So now the left leg is going to be the moving leg. So here we go. We're going to lift to the side. And again, it can be a tap out if we're protecting hips today, or they're just not cooperating too much. As long as we're moving, as long as we're breathing, we're staying healthy. We're contributing to our wellness. So go at your pace. We don't want to get injured by forcing our body to do something it's not ready to do today. And this will be the last one of these. Good. Shake that out. We've got our finger pulls. So this time, left hand is on the inside, right palm to the outside. Grip those fingers, relax the top of the shoulders. Keep your arms close to your body and pull 2, 3, 4, 5, release. Keep it up, go at your own pace, use the amount of resistance that you feel comfortable using. Obviously, the harder we pull, the more we engage our muscles. Full release in between. And keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Even if you have to count out loud, that ensures that you're breathing. So if you find that you're holding your breath, count out loud. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, release. And we are done. Shake out those wrists a little bit, roll the shoulders. We have our side crunch on the other side. Oh no, we have our alternate punch first. Seated or standing. Here we go, punch, out, reach. So legs can be a little bit wider. You can add a little heel lift to make it a little more challenging, or we can make it a little less. We can do this seated and just do the upper arm without the little leg movement. It's all good. We're working arms now. And back. And each time we reach, we are engaging the core. So core is pretty much involved in every exercise we do, which is why it's so important to keep it strong. And we are done. Good. We just have our side crunch. So remember, we can do a full side crunch, we can do a modified side crunch, we can do a side stretch. We're still working the same muscles. We're going to go to the left this time. So you decide which you would like to do. Find one that works and feels best for you. Again, form is important. So we're trying to go straight sideways, keeping shoulder and hip aligned. Keep our head and neck in a neutral position so the whole spine's gently curving to one side. We're almost done, and we've got 2 sets of exercises done. We only have 1 more to go. We're doing great. Good, and we are done. Roll your shoulders. Take a moment for a drink, walk around, stretch out, maybe shoulder rolls, maybe wrist rotations. And our last set, I'll show you what we're gonna do before. We're gonna do heel lifts. So behind the chair, next to the chair, independent of the chair, legs stay straight, shoulders over hips. We're just gonna lift our heels and lower. Doing that for 45 seconds. That's the first one. The second one we're gonna do is crunches. So again, we can do these seated or standing. We're gonna bring our hands across. If we're standing, we're gonna pull one knee in. So as we pull in, we're pulling the belly in, so no one punches us. Seated, we're going to do the same thing. Same form, we just do it from a seated position, a little more stability. So that's our second one. The third one, we're going to do a bicep curl. So seated or standing with or without weights. Right leg's going to move first, so as we do our bicep curl, we're going to do a 1-leg march. So standing is going to challenge our balance a little bit more. Again, you can use weights or not. So that's our third one. Second round, we'll do the left leg. And the last one we're going to do is leg lifts to the back. So we're going to start with the right leg. Straight. We're going to work these glutes a little bit more. Work these hamstrings. Right leg first 45 seconds. Second round, we'll do the left leg. So are we ready? This is our last set. And we are going to get started. Here we go. The first one is going to be our heel lifts. So close to the chair, hands on our hips, a wall, legs hip distance apart, and here we go, lift and lower. As high as you can, and a complete release of the heels back down. Nice and smooth. You feel your calves getting warm. Keep going. And we've got 5 seconds to go. Again, you go at your pace. Take a break if you need to. Good. And then bang out your feet. Shake out your legs a little bit. We're going to do our crunch, seated or standing. Hands crossed. Remember, right knee is going to go in first. We're going to add a little belly pull in. Your balance is a little off. Have a seat. Do these seated. Same thing. We're doing the exact same exercise. You can go a little bit slower. Pace yourself. Oh, and we are done. Good. Roll your shoulders. Bicep curls with or without our weights. I have my weights here, so I'm going to use weights, but feel free not to. Right leg is going to lift the whole time. So every time we bicep curl, here we go. So this is more of a compound, challenging our balance, challenging both sides of our brain, working upper and lower body at the same time. So we got lots going on. So take your time. And again, we might feel our heart rate going up a little bit more because we're working hard. We've got lots of muscles working at the same time. If we're standing, we've got more of our core. Good, roll your shoulders. What is the last exercise? Oh, our leg lifts to the back. So again, standing behind the chair. Let's do our right leg first. We're just going to lift and come back. Feel the glutes work. Keep the core engaged. So we don't want this to turn into a low back. So you should just feel the glutes working, not the low back. So maybe a little less of a lift if you feel the low back talking to you. Keep a little bend in that left knee. And that left leg's probably starting to talk to you because we've been standing on it for a while. We've been doing these exercises standing. So while we're moving the right leg, working the glute, we are strengthening through that left leg. So don't lock the knee, engage the core, put a little bend in the knee. And we are done. Shake that out really well. We're second set. This is our last round of exercises. So heel lifts to start. With or without the chair. You can also do this seated. Lift your heels and lower. So if you need a little break, you need to sit, come to your seat, and do your heel lifts from a seated position. Remember, pace yourself 45 seconds here. You can always challenge your balance, both hands off the chair. Good, and we are done with that one. Our next one is our bicep curls. Oh, no, we've got our crunches first. So seated or standing crunches, sorry about that. So we're going to crunch. Just try to go in the same order. So again, we can be seated to do this. I think I'm going to sit for the bicep curls because they're coming up next. But if you start to fatigue halfway between, sit down and complete the exercise seated. Not that we can sit for every one of them, but the ones that you can, take advantage if you need to. Especially if this is the first time you've done a Spark class. And we are done. Good. Seated or standing, with or without weights. Bicep curl with a left leg lift. So here we go, we're going to lift. So this interval class that we're doing is also called a HIT class. So HIT stands for high intensity interval training. So what we're doing is we're doing one exercise for a set amount of time to get our heart rates up, and then we're taking a break, letting our heart rate go down. It helps with our strength, it helps build our muscle, it helps keep our metabolism up. And a lot of studies are coming out that these are good. We need to stand for this last one because it's our back leg lift, left leg. That at any age, these are good. Getting that heart rate strengthens our heart as well. But again, take it easy. That's the first time we're doing it. After this, we just have our cool down stretches and we will be done. We got 10 seconds of exercising left. Good job, everybody. Keep breathing. Keep working. And we are done. Walk out. Those legs, shake them out a little bit. And when you're ready, have a seat. We've got muscles and joints warmed up. We've got our heart rate up. So now we're going to do some gentle stretches. Let our body cool down and get a little bit more flexibility. So let's come to our seated position. Good alignment, and then right arm's going to reach up and over, and we're just going to hold for 3 breaths. Nice, relaxing breaths. Good, and then slowly release that arm down, and let's do the other side. Good, and release that down. Let's go back to the right arm straight out and across. You can hug it from the top to the bottom. Keep that arm straight. Keep the top of the shoulders relaxed. And again, 3 relaxing breaths. Good, and release that. Arm down, other side. Straight out, straight across. Hug it in. And then release. Bring both arms straight out, reach out. Keep your arms lower than your shoulders. Reach out through your fingertips. Open up those shoulder joints. And then arms come behind. So we can either grab onto the back of the chair, the sides of the chair, or interlace our hands behind us for a nice chest expansion. We want to open up the front of the shoulders. 3 breaths here. Again, keep relaxing. And then slowly release those arms down. A few wrist rotations here. Good. Now let's move through a seated twist. Release those core muscles as we gently twist to the right. 3 breaths in our twist. And then slowly, let's come back to center. Inhale here, exhale, gently twist to the left. And then slowly coming back to center. Roll the shoulders once or twice. And let's turn sideways. Right leg is on the outside. We're going to do our hip stretch. So slide that hip off the chair. Hold on with the left hand. Slide that leg back. We're going to reach through that heel, or we can bring the top of the foot down if that feels like a nice stretch for your ankle. And then we're going to extend the right arm overhead. Take 3 breaths here. Hand can be on the shoulder here if that feels better for your shoulder. Just opening up the front of this hip, opening up that quadricep. And then slowly release the arm, the leg. Let's come back to center and turn it around to the other side. So slide that hip off, Slide that leg back. Stop when you're starting to feel a little resistance. Take a few breaths. Stay here. Go a little bit farther back. Add that left arm if you'd like. Hand can stay on the hip as well. Find your hip stretch. Nice, relaxing, full breaths here. And then slowly release. Coming back to center. We're going to scoot forward, extend one leg out, heel down, toe up. It's a little hamstring stretch here. Good, coming out of that stretch, sit up nice and tall, draw your core, and we're going to bring this knee in and give it a hug. And then release. Moving to the other side, other leg out, heel down, toe up, hinging forward. So we should be feeling an opening in the back of the hamstring, maybe even in the calf and the ankle. Also opening the back of the hip. And then as we come out of our hinge, slide that foot back in and bring the knee to chest, holding behind the knee, maybe in front, and give it a nice hug, opening up the back of that hip a little bit more. And then release. Scoot back in the chair, a few shoulder rolls. Let's take one nice inhalation, stretching anywhere that feels good. And as we exhale, nice big exhale out. And we are done. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed the class.